Good day, students. So today we will discuss about trigonometry. So ano nga ba yung trigonometry? Trigonometry is the study of triangles. The relationship of their sides, their angles, and so on and so forth. Now in trigonometry, you have your 6 trigonometric function. Namely, the sine, the cosine, the tangent, and you have their reciprocal part. We have cosecant, the secant, and the cotangent. Now, how do we get the 6 trigonometric function of a right triangle? Now, for example, given this right triangle, you have this side is 3, this side is 4, and your hypotenuse is 5. There are parts of the right triangle in trigonometry. Ngayon, alamin mo dyan kung asan dyan yung opposite, asan ng adjacent, and asan ng hypotenuse. So, automatically, your 5 is the hypotenuse. Because the hypotenuse is always the longest side. Ngayon, paano mo hahanapin yung opposite and adjacent? So, we have to use the SOHCAHTOA. Now, ano ba yung SOHCAHTOA na yan? That will tell you the formula of each function. We have your sine, which is the SO. Sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. You have the cosine. Cosine theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. And then the TOA, which is the tangent, you have tangent theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. Now, you have to identify kung alin dyan ng hypotenuse, adjacent, at opposite. So, we identified 5 as your hypotenuse. Ngayon, ano naman ang magiging value ng opposite and adjacent? Now, in order for you to identify kung asan dyan yung opposite, asan dyan ang adjacent, you also need to identify kung alin dyan yung theta. Or ibig sabihin ng theta is the given angle. Ano nga ba dyan yung given angle? Since dito sa example na to, sa right triangle na to, we will just assume that theta is equal to theta. Now, so how do we identify the adjacent and the opposite? First one is the opposite. Paano mo i-identify kung asan dyan yung opposite? Titignan mo kung asan dyan yung angle of theta or yung theta mo. Since this one is your theta, kung ano yung katapat niyang side, maglagay ka ng arrow dyan, asan siya nakatutok, dito sa kay number 3, that will be your opposite. So your opposite is equal to 3. Now, since 5 is the hypotenuse, automatically, yung katabing side ng theta is equal to adjacent, which is 4. Again, in order for you to find the value of the opposite, tignan mo kung asan dyan yung theta, which is ito. Then, kung saan siya nakabukaka or kung saan siya nakaturo na side, which is itong side ng 3, yun ang magiging opposite. And yung katabing side ng theta, that will be your adjacent. And of course, your hypotenuse will always be the longest side of your right triangle. Now, how do we get the values of the 6 trigonometric functions? We use the SOHCAHTOA. We have sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse dito. So, sine theta is equal now to, what's your sine? Opposite over hypotenuse, you have 3 over 5. Your cosine theta naman is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, you have 4 over 5. And your TOA, or your tangent theta is equal now to opposite over adjacent, you have 3 over 4. Ngayon, paano naman yung cosecant, yung secant, and the cotangent? Well, this 3 is the reciprocal of the 3 main function, which is the sine, cosine, tangent, and the tangent. So, ibig sabihin, you just get the reciprocal of the sine to get the value of the cosecant theta. Ibig sabihin, babaligtarin mo lang yung value ng sine theta. So, you have cosecant theta is equal to 5 over 3. You just get the reciprocal or yung kabaligtaran. The secant theta is equal to 5 over 4. And lastly, your cotangent is 4 over 3, or the reciprocal of the tangent theta. And that's how you get the 6 trigonometric functions. Paano kapag sa given right triangle mo, wala yung isang side? For example, you have your theta is equal to b and your This one, 21 is equal to hypotenuse. And you have 11. So first, identify kung alin dyan ang hypotenuse, opposite, adjacent, and your theta. Now, identify the theta. Asan dyan yung theta? This one. This one. Always remember that theta is equal to angle. Kung ano man yung nakalagay dun sa loob ng triangle, that will be your theta. So, your theta is equal to B. So, dito sa pagsasagutan mo na yung 6th trigonometric function, you have sine theta. Now, your hypotenuse is equal now to 21 because that is the longest side. Your opposite, again, look at the theta or yung angle B. Kung asan siya nakatutok na side, that will be your opposite. Kung saan siya nakabukaka na side, that will be your opposite. Since yung side na tinuturo or kung saan siya nakatapat na side, it's 11. 11 is equal to opposite. And your adjacent is missing. Ngayon, paano mo kukunin yung adjacent kung wala siyang binigay na given? Use the Pythagorean theorem. Or you have c square is equal to a square plus b square. Always remember, yung c is yung hypotenuse, so that's 21 square plus, let's say your adjacent is a, you have a square, wala siyang adjacent, plus your b is your opposite, which is 11 square. So you have now 21 square is equal to 441. You have a square plus 11 square is 121. Transpose, you have 441 minus 121 a square. You have a square now is equal to 320. And then cancel, you have a now is equal to square root of 320. A is equal to 17.89. Or your adjacent is equal to 17.89. So you have sine B is equal now to 11 over 21. Cosine B is 17.89 over 21. And your tangent B is equal to 11 over 17.89. Then you get the reciprocal of this. You have cos secant B is equal now to 21 over 11. Secant B is equal to 21 over 17.89. And your cotangent B is equal to 17.89 over 11. Next. Now we proceed to angle of elevation and depression. Basically, this is the application of your trigonometry. Now, the problem, the angle of depression of a side of a lake measured from a hot air balloon 3,600 feet above the ground, the lake is 52 degrees. The angle of depression to the opposite side of the lake is 38 degrees angle. Find the width of the lake. Now, in order for you to solve this one, you have to illustrate. You have your hot air balloon dito. And then, meron kang lake. This one is the lake. Sabihin mo na. That one is the lake. Now, angle of depression means when we look down on an object, magkakaroon tayo ng angle of depression. Now, let's say this is your eye level, nasa hot air balloon ka, and this line is your eye level. Kapag tumingin ka ng diretso sa hot air balloon, that will be your eye level. And when you look down, for example, you look down on the edge or dun sa dulo nung lake, magkakaroon ka ng angle of depression, which is this one. And it says it's 52 degrees. So that's 52. degrees. Ngayon, pag nung tumingin siya sa kabilang side, on the other side, let's say this one, you have, ang nabuo niyang angle is 38 degrees. You have 38 degrees. Ngayon, find the width of the lake, or kung gaano kahaba, or kung gaano kahaba yung lake. For you to have an idea kung anong gagawin mo, you have to put a line over here that will create two right triangles, 90 degrees from the lake. So, meron kang dalawang right triangle, which is this one. You have 90 degrees. Ngayon, paano mo makukuha yung width nung lake? Meron kang right triangle dito sa kabila. Another one here. Now, in your geometry, meron tayong tinatawag na alternate interior angles are congruent. Asan dyan yung dalawang alternate interior angles? This one. Etong angle na to, equal siya dito sa angle na to. Congruent silang dalawa. And you have 38 degrees, congruent siya dito sa angle na to. Now, this one, anong implication nito? This tells you how far are you from the lake. So, that's 3,600 feet. Since, mag-focus na lang tayo dito sa triangle na to. Since this angle, 38 degrees, is congruent to this one, 38 degrees then, we can solve for the, for the width of this lake. So, how will we do that? We have to use the SOHCAHTOA. So, if we use the SOHCAHTOA, kailangan natin alamin kung asan dyan yung opposite, asan ang adjacent, asan dyan ang hypotenuse. Now, in this one, hindi mo kailangan hanapin lahat. Hanapin mo lang yung magiging width. We will find this one. Sabihin na natin, this is your x, and this is your y. We have to find the value of x and y. Since, pag pinagsama mo si x tsaka si y, yun yung kabuuan ng magiging lake natin. Kung gaano kahaba yung magiging lake. Now, find the value of x. Let me recreate this one. You have x here. Meron kang angle. You have this angle. 38. And you have 3,600. Now, find the value of x. How will you find the value of x using this one? Ay identify mo dyan kung asan ang hypotenuse, adjacent, at opposite. Now, since ito yung hypotenuse, walang given, hindi natin kailangan yung hypotenuse. Ang kailangan natin dyan is yung opposite and your adjacent. Since this is your angle, kung ano yung nakaturong side, or kung saan siya nakatutok na side, that will be your opposite. And yung katabing side nung theta natin or nung angle, that will be your adjacent. X is equal to adjacent. Ngayon, ang given mo dito sa triangle na ito is O tsaka A, which is opposite and adjacent. Sa SOHCAHTOA, saan siya present? Doon ba sa SO, saka sa TOA? Since si opposite at adjacent, present lang siya kay TOA, tangent ang gagamitin natin. So, we have tangent 38 degrees is equal now to opposite, which have 3,600 over adjacent, which is yung x mo. Next, how will you solve this one? We have now cross multiply. Meron kang tangent 38 degrees times x equal now to 3,600. Since x ang hinahanap natin or yung adjacent, we have to divide both sides by tangent 38 degrees. Para makancel yan, then you have your x now is equal to 3,600 over tangent 38. Now, be careful sa pag-i-input yan, especially kapag gumamit kayo ng calculator. Ang gawin nyo dyan, you have 3,600 tas divided by siya sa calculator, then tangent 38. Mas maganda kung igugrupo nyo. What I mean is 3,600 tapos divide nyo, then open bracket, then tan 38 tapos i-close bracket nyo. That way you will get the answer. Or if much better kung gagamit na lang kayo ng scientific calculator sa internet, mas maganda yun. For this one, you have 4,607.2 decimal points. 79 feet. Ang haba. So this one is 4,607.79 feet. Next, the other triangle. The other side naman ng triangle, we have to get the value of y. Same procedure. Ito yung theta mo. Ano yung katapat niyang side? You have your opposite. Opposite is equal to 3,600. Then, yung katabi niyang angle or yung katabi niyang side, that's your adjacent. Since opposite and adjacent na naman ang present dito sa triangle natin, we again use TOA. We have tangent 52 this time is equal now to opposite. You have 3,600 over your adjacent or y. Again, same procedure, cross multiply. We have tangent 52 times y is equal to 3,600. Then, dividing both sides by tangent 52. Cancel. Your y now is equal to 3,600 over tangent 52. 2,812.63 feet. So this one is 2,812.63 feet. So ngayon, paano mo naman mahahanap yung width ng lake? You just add the two. You have 2,812 plus 4,607.79. You will get 7,420.42 feet. This is now your final answer. The width of the lake is 7,000 feet long. Medyo mahaba ang lake na yan. Next! Now, in this problem naman, we have to use the sine law. Ano ba yung sine law? Sa sine law, you just need to memorize the formula. So, what's the formula of your sine law? The formula is, so how will you determine kung asan dyan yung sine A, kung asan dyan yung A? Yung mga A, that will be your side. Your A, B, and C, that will be your side. Yung mga capital letters, that will be your angle. For example, you have angle A is 40 degrees dito, so your sine A is 40 degrees. And your value of A, yung katapat niyang side, which is pag naglagay ka ng arrow sa tapat ng angle A, kung ano yung nakaturong side, that will be your A. So, sine A is equal to 40 degrees and the value of A is equal to 10. Same as true with this one. You have sine C is equal to 30 degrees and you have your value of C which is kailangan natin hanapin. Now, first of all, tignan mo kung asan dyan yung kompleto. Si sine A tsaka si A ang kompleto dyan. So, you have 10 over sine 40 degrees is equal to, hanapin natin si C because we need to find the measurement of C and B. Now, meron kang C is equal now to sine 30 degrees. Cross multiply. You have 10 times sine 30 is equal now to C times sine 40. Now, since we have to find the value of C, divide both sides by sine 40. Cancel. So you have now C is equal to 10 times sine 30 over sine 40. So again, input that on your calculator. Your answer will be, you have now 7.78. Now, how about your B? Paano mo kukunin yung B? Since hindi present yung angle ng B dito, we need to get the angle or the sine B. Remember, ang total measurement ng isang buong triangle is 180 degrees. So, ibig sabihin, you have 40, you have 30. Ano dapat yung magiging angle ni B para makabuo ka ng 180 degrees? So, that's 110. Because 110 plus 40 plus 30 is equal to 180 degrees. And, again, since si A over sine A ang kompleto, we use 10 over sine 40. It's equal now to your B, which is missing, over sine 110. Then, cross multiply again. Meron kang B times sine 40 over 10 times sine 110. Dividing both sides by sine 40, we have now B is equal to 10 sine 110 over sine 40. Again, input that on your calculator. You will have 14.62 and the value of C is 7.78. That's your sine law. Next. Now, in this given triangle, find angle A. Ngayon, last time, dun sa sine law, given ang at least two angles ng triangle. In this one naman, kapag given ang isang angle ng isang triangle or wala siyang given na angle, we have to use the cosine law. The formula for cosine law is a bit complicated. Depende kung ano yung kukunin mo, parang dun sa sine law. Now, you have 3. You have a square is equal to b square plus c square minus 2bc times cosine A. Kapag B naman ang kailangan, b square is equal to a square plus c square minus 2ac times cosine B. Kapag c naman, you have c square is equal to b square plus a square minus 2ab times cosine C. Yan. Depende kung ano yung kailangan mo. Now, in this one, sabi, find angle A. Itong angle na to ang hahanapin natin. So, how do we find angle A using cosine law? We have to use this one. Itong A. Since cosine A, yun ang present. So, yun ang gagamitin natin. We don't need this one muna. This one we will use. Before you substitute, alin dyan pala yung A, alin dyan yung value ng C, alin dyan yung value ng C. Now, just like yung paghahanap ng opposite, this angle, since this is angle A, kung ano yung katapat niya, yun yung A. So, 18 is equal to A. Ito naman yung angle B, kung asan siya nakatapat, yun yung value ng B, which is 23. Ito yung B. Then, your angle C, saan siya nakatapat? Kay 16, which is letter C. So, you have your values na find the value of angle A. Substitute. Meron kang 18 square is equal now to 23 square plus 16 square minus 2 times 23 times 16 times cosine A. 18 square is equal to 324. 23 square is equal now to 529. 16 square is 256. Minus 2 times 23 times 16 is 736 cosine A. Now, add. Meron kang 529 plus 256, 785 minus 736 cosine A. You don't need to subtract 785 to 736 because ang 736 kasama niya pa yung cosine A. Imagine niyo yung cosine A is variable. So you cannot simplify a whole number with a number with a variable. Now, what you want to do is to transpose. I-transpose mo tong buong negative 736 cosine A sa kabila and yung 324 sa kabila. So, you will be having 736 cosine A is equal now to 785. Transposing 324 to the other side, you have negative 324. You have 785 minus 324. Meron kang 461. And then you have 736 cosine A. Dividing both sides by 736. Ngayon, meron kang cosine A is equal to 461 over 736. Now, what you want to do pagdating sa calculator, kasi medyo komplikado yan, shift cosine. Or i-simplify nyo muna to. 461 divided by 736 is equal to 0.62635 and so on and so forth. Basta ganyan. Then, yung value nito, shift cosine nyo. Shift cosine, then yung value nito. Or, pag input nyo sa calculator, ganito. Makikita nyo yung cosine negative 1. Parang ganito, cosine, then may negative 1, then 461 over 736. Ganyan. So, pag in-input nyan, you will be having 51.22. And this one will be your angle, kay angle A. Meron kang angle A is equal now to 51.22 degrees. Ganon. Again, paano yung cosine negative 1? Shift nyo lang. Shift cosine, then input 461 over 736.